Hello, my lovelies, beautifuls, amazings, beloveds, and beautifuls. You know your names. And I am Maggie. Thank you for joining me and supporting me on my channel. So, what are we doing here? We are doing a slow crawl through this beautiful book, Excuses Be Gone by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And why are we doing this? Because this book is about how to change lifelong self-defeating thinking habits. And if you just even pick up one tool in this book, it could change your whole life. And we also know by changing our lives, we change every life around us. So we are going to get to it. And please, I thank you for supporting me. Hit that magical like button and subscribe and leave your positive comments. I love spending this time with you. So we are in part 2, chapter 10, the 7th principle, compassion. So we're going to get to it. Here we go. True compassion is more than flinging a coin to a beggar. It understands that the edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring. Martin Luther King. Okay, Martin Luther King also told us that if you give a man a fish, you feed him a day, but you teach him how to fish, and he'll be able to eat for life. That's a paraphrase, but around the gist of it. The more that we help others be able to do the skill set themselves, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, that helps strengthen their whole being, the more that that person can walk boldly into their life, giving the gift that is them and that only they can give. We may all be resonating at similar frequencies, but each one of you is unique and has something, another divine spice to add to the recipe of life. Okay, so, and we are good. Okay, all right, so let's keep going. There is a widely told story that speaks to the value of compassion. It seems that a woman who lived in a Tao-centered life came upon a precious stone which sitting by the bank of a running stream in the mountains. And she placed this highly valued item in her bag. The next day, a hungry traveler approached the woman and asked for something to eat. As she reached into her bag for a crust of bread, the traveler saw the precious stone and imagined how it would provide him with financial security for the remainder of his life. He asked the woman to give the treasure to him, and she did, along with some food. He left ecstatic over his good fortune and the knowledge that he was now secure. A few days later, the traveler returned and handed back the stone to the wise woman. I've been thinking, he told her. Although I know how valuable this is, I'm returning it to you in hopes that you could give me something even more precious. What would that be? The woman inquired. Please give me what you have within yourself that enabled you to give me that stone. Oh, that's all of you. Your beautiful, beautiful hearts. The woman in this story was living her life from a sacred place of compassion, which is the 7th and last principle for an excuses be gone life. So you hear, compassion is a higher order value. And as we are building this new earth social memory complex, which we are all a part of, compassion is one of those higher order values, and I know many of you just embody the energy of compassion. So thank you. Okay, so let's keep going. Compassion and excuses. It is impossible to need excuses when the focus of life shifts to how may I serve. Thinking of others first, reaching out to them, despite how it might be inconvenient to you, because you feel joy, which is what the hungry traveler was actually seeking, right? He was seeking that. This gift of feeling good or feeling God within comes from serving and surrendering rather than asking and demanding. So serving and surrendering. there's no room for blame in your life as long as as long as you live with kindness. And excuses, regardless of their form, are all about blaming. Blaming your past, blaming the economy, blaming your perceived personal flaws, blaming God, blaming your parents, blaming your children or your spouse, blaming your DNA. There's no shortage of circumstances that people and events to blame, and there's no shortage of blame itself. So remember, there's energy fields, right? So there is the blame energy cloud that you can tap into. And I want you to just know, I always talk about that spectrum, right? But if you are moving from blame to taking responsibility, be gentle on yourself and others, because it's going to be like a detox. You're slowly going to become very aware of yourself. You're going to start realizing, oh my gosh, I blame this person, I blame this person, I blame myself, I blame. And then you're going to start to realize, wow, okay, this is an excuse. And then you're going to start catching yourself. And slowly by slowly, the blame game is going to stop within you. And you're going to begin to walk up the ladder of consciousness. And that blame is going to turn into self-responsibility, independence, sovereignty. So if you're in that, you're in that process, don't blame, don't beat yourself up, because it's going to be a process of detoxing out of these places into your new form. Okay. And also, when others are doing it to you, it helps to give you perspective, but they're our mirror. All right. When you shift to compassion, all blame disappears. So no matter what you may want for yourself, discover how you can want it more for someone else, and then make that shift. In that contemplative moment, compassion will eradicate finger pointing and trump excuse making. And you'll begin to think you'll be able to think like God thinks, serving, offering, giving, and loving freely. The wise woman in the mountains who gave the precious stone to a stranger had no need to think about poverty or unhappiness, to hold a cynical view towards the greedy masses, or to explain the way she lived her life. Why? Because her ego was out of the picture, ego edging God out. And love and service reigned supreme. And many of us, we are on our road to giving our greatest loves and our greatest service to this world. So as we upgrade the planet, you do the work's going to do you. Not only is it going to take you, it's going to take millions and billions behind you. And it affects all universes. So go, go, go. I've certainly found that when I remember to nurture kindness and courtesy, everything in my life seemed to move towards more harmony and peace. To say nothing of how much better I feel when I'm giving rather than wanting. And that when you think about it, that wanting sort of has a sucking, draining, right? I heard the Dalai Lama speak on compassion some years back. And the essence of his message contained these 2 points. Okay, so Dalai Lama, here we go. Point 1. Compassion is the single most important quality that humanity needs to learn. So compassion is the single most important quality that humanity needs to learn. This is the way to find happiness and health and to feel successful. Point 2. War and violence would become extinct in 1 generation if, beginning at the age of 5, children were taught to meditate on compassion for an hour a week for the rest of their lives. So I remember when Wayne Dyer used to say this. I attended a lot of events and I was able to meet him and talk to him, and what an amazing electric person that just never stopped helping to upgrade this planet. And he planted seeds in many of us, and here we are. But think about this. War and violence would become extinct. Ipsne no. In 1 generation, if, beginning at the age of 5, children were taught to meditate on compassion for an hour a week for the rest of their lives. This is the most powerful thing, because this could be done. Think about this. We get to choose. So we want to choose love. We want to choose peace. We want to choose compassion. We want to choose these higher order values. Whew. Such is the power of a compassionate approach to life, which is truly thinking of others and living by the ancient golden rule. I had this beautiful experience yesterday where I dropped my daughter and she went to go get a Jamba Juice, I think. No, Cybol. Anyway, so I was driving around the parking lot, not realizing, it was going to take the time it did. But anyway, through the process, my couple of my laps through, it was the cutest thing. At a light pole in the shopping center, there was these 4 beautiful kids sitting at the base of the light pole all around, and they were sitting there meditating. Now you had one cute little boy and he kept, is it over? But you had like 2 of the other kids completely down, grounded, holding the frequency. The other one was in between there. But it just touched my heart, because it's like, that's not something you see every day. And it was in the midst of this like shopping center. But also too, they reflected myself to me in a different states when I'm meditating or when I'm working to hold a compassionate state. I can be that little boy who's like, or I can also be those 2 little girls who were in the full on Zen. I mean, they were like turned and tapped on, and they were connected to source. Like you could just see it and feel it. And then the other one was in between states. But the whole point that they were even doing this in the middle of a mall, I know they were waiting to get their plate lunch, etc. But it was the cutest thing. But what is it? It's that shift. 1 at a time, 4 at a time, 6 at a time. Just do the work, and the work will do you. It will continue to be reflected to you in all aspects of life. And as Josiah Brandt loves to say, imagine wisely. So like, yes. Okay, all right. So, such is the power of a compassionate approach to life, which is truly thinking of others and living by the ancient golden rule. The Bible tells us treat others as you'd like them to treat you, right? And Jesus told us, he challenged us all, love one another as I've loved you. Putting these practices into play, choosing love, choosing compassion, choosing peace, we're going to shift this world. That the new earth social memory complex is building. That place of peace, that place of love, that place of compassion. Let's go. Just keep bringing it. So the very second you feel yourself retreating to excuses, repeat the mantra. How may I serve? How may I serve? How may I serve? How may I serve? Then act upon the answers you receive. You'll become aligned with the universal mind, which is always giving. And the bonus is that you'll notice the universe asking you back, the universe now asking you back, how may I serve you? 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 So, right? The giving and receiving. So as your compassion for others flows back to you, remember the truth I've written about many times in this book. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. So make compassion be what you are. Woohoo! I love Wayne Dyer, and I just love these readings, and I love you too. And I thank you. I thank you for supporting me and supporting this channel. And I hope that you were able to pick up at least some pearl today. And I appreciate you stopping on by. So you know what to do. Hit that like, hit that magical like button, and hit subscribe, and leave your positive comments. And I so look forward to hearing from you, seeing your comments, and just feeling your vibes, because we're bringing it. So thank you, and you know what's next. You know what's next. Ready? Peace in. Peace out.